Hello, and welcome to today's episode. I'm going to be your host, the Irrelevant Nerd, and today we're going to be doing the Nerdy Narrative. Today's episode will be short and sweet because this was a busier than average week for me, but there were a few things that I did want to talk about. I'm going to start with the new trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm going to do a quick spoiler-free for episodes 1 through 9 of Season 4 of Legends of Vox Machina because that's all we have so far, but I'm just going to go ahead, get right into it. So starting with the new trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day, I thought this was a great trailer, and it's two great trailers in a row now that I think are giving us a really good sense of what this movie is. Like, it looks very street level, which I know almost every fan is wanting from these Spider-Man movies, and has been one of the gripes with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, is that he's never just fighting crime in New York. He's fighting in Washington, D.C., or in space, or in Europe, or wherever they have him going. And it looks like they're finally going to bring him down to the street-level character that Spider-Man always has been and kind of probably should be. Like, I've loved him in the other movies, but this is definitely the direction the character needs to go going forward. And it also looks like they found a way to bring in these other MCU characters. We see the Hulk and the Punisher in this trailer, and it looks like they fit into the movie in a way that they're not going to overpower it like some of the other characters in Tom Holland's other Spider-Man movies have done. It looks like they make sense for why they would be in this section of his story. For the Punisher being another ground level character who we know is in New York at this time based off of the events of Daredevil Born Again, as well as the Punisher one shot that we have. We know that he's kind of in the area, so it makes sense for him to show up, and I also think it'd make a lot of sense for Daredevil to show up, and I would love to see Daredevil and Spider-Man together on screen. But when you look at Bruce Banner, Spider-Man is going through some sort of metamorphosis in this trailer. Like, he's transforming, he's developing natural webbing, his powers are kind of on the fritz, and so he needs a very, very smart person who might understand how superpowers would change the human body. So he goes to Bruce Banner, and to me, that makes sense. So I'm a little nervous that we'll get the overreach of a mentor character again, but these trailers just kind of look like they're going to fit into the story very naturally, as well as, Hulk at some point is going to be an antagonist that Spider-Man is going to have to fight. But I just appreciate that it looks like this is going to be like Tom's story, like Peter's story, and I think it's all looking really good. I think his suit looks fantastic. I think it's a perfect blend of more of a practical fabric with the design of the suit that he already had, because I thought it was pretty good for him. And I do like in this trailer that we finally have a quippy Spider-Man in the MCU. He's always been funny, interacting with Tony Stark and, making references to, that old movie, The Empire Strikes Back, and things like that. But he hasn't really been quippy with the bad guys yet, and that's so important to the Spider-Man character, and that is a big part of the reason why he's so popular and people love him so much, is that even in the most stressful situations, he's cracking jokes. And you see, he is in a depressed, terrible, stressful time in his life in this movie, and he is still cracking jokes because that is what Peter Parker does. And just in general, like in that space in his life where he is super stressed out, he's down, I love where he's at, like that we're finally getting this Peter Parker getting just dragged through the mud. Like, we saw him lose his Aunt May in the last movie, and that was a big transformation, but just going through the difficulty of life and having it beat the crap out of you every single day is so important to Peter Parker's journey. They do it the best in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, but it looks like they're going to be doing it really well in this movie. So I think there's a lot to be excited for, and I think that both of the trailers that we've gotten are really just kind of confirming that this is going to be a great MCU movie. The upswing that has been on is not a mirage, and I think that this is going to easily push it back over to the $1 billion mark and kind of rebuild the hype around the MCU. With that being said, there are still some things that make me nervous about this movie, despite how great I think these trailers are. The part where his powers are going to be on the fritz, I'm nervous about that because I didn't like how they did that in Spider-Man 2, of just he didn't want to be, so his powers just didn't work. I get that journey on a certain level, but I don't like that mechanic very much in that movie, and I don't think I would like it a lot in this movie, but we'll see. And I'm confused because initially it looked like maybe the hand was messing with Peter, and that's why he was getting all the black eyes. But the more I see and I kind of think about it, what if it is the symbiote? Like, what if the little bit has gotten to him, and that's why he's acting so angry, like we see with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3, and he's going out, and his powers are acting differently. Like, that could explain a lot, and I think would set him up a lot really well for Secret Wars, to come back with the black suit, like he does in the comics, because it all just makes sense to me. I don't know what it was in this comics I was watching, or not in this comic, in this trailer as I was watching it. There was something about all of it that I'm like, man, I really think the symbiote could be involved in this movie. So I think that could be exciting, and I think there's a chance that Peter Parker is going to die in this movie and be brought back with that symbiote in a way. But we'll see. I think it's going to be good. I think they're going to do the symbiote a lot better than they did in Spider-Man 3, and I think it's just going to be a lot more fun than what we've gotten in the Venom movies, even though I can't have fun with those movies. And I also, the more that I'm watching, I'm more and more convinced that Sadie Sink is going to play Jean Grey. There's a lot of people, because of her red hair, that is convinced that she is going to play some sort of version of Mary Jane. The MCU already has an MJ. Like, she's not Mary Jane in that same sense, but she is MJ. Like, if Spider-Man is going to move on, it's probably going to be with like Black Cat, like Felicity, or another Gwen Stacy even, but we're not going to get another MJ when this universe already has an MJ. It'd be really weird. Like, I'm very convinced that she's going to be Sadie Sink, because you can see her taking over bodies, maybe twisting the Hulk's mind, and that's why he turns. But it seems like we don't actually see her that much in the trailer, so I think maybe she's being held prisoner, and this is the only way that she can do it. And maybe this is going to be how X-Men are introduced, because they're being hunted, and that's why she's imprisoned and possibly being controlled. I don't know, but I'm 99%, or I would say 90% sure that Sadie Sink is going to be Jean Grey, because she could be another one of these small characters that they kind of pull up. But what would be interesting if she is Jean Grey is kind of a perfect character to reverse the mind wipe that Ned and MJ went through in the last movie. So I don't know. There's a lot of fun that could be done with the Jean Grey character, and I'm just waiting for mutants to show up in the MCU. But I do think the trailer is truly great, and I think the hype is definitely growing when you look at the ticket sales and just the amount of views on these trailers. Like, I am very, very excited to see this movie in just a little over a month now. All right, moving on to The Legend of Vox Machina Season 4. So I'm doing a review of episodes 1 through 9, because we've been getting 3 episodes a week. We're now 3 weeks in. I'm finally getting to talk about it. So we only have 1 week left, sadly enough. This season, again, spoiler-free, no worries. This season has been very strong with the animation and voice acting, like just as strong as the seasons that have come before it, and just kind of building on what's come before it. And with the voice acting, we've gotten the addition of Wayne Brady playing a new character whose name is Tyrion Darrington, and I've absolutely loved his performance, and I do love the character, and he serves as a fine addition to the group for Vox Machina, as a good replacement for Scanlan, because as we saw at the end of Season 3, he was kind of wanting to step away from the group, be with his daughter. And I think that Tyrion brings a similar energy, but is very much his own character. And as I watch him in the show, I get the feeling that he was probably voiced by the guy who is the voice of Scanlan. I'm not sure. I never watched the campaign. I should probably just ask my friends. They've all seen it. But I've really enjoyed his presence, and I think it's kind of minimized me missing Scanlan a bit, even though I do, of course, miss Scanlan. I loved him very much. I think he's a great character. The story this season to me feels more small scale in a way, but more tense than the past couple seasons, where we've gotten these grand conflicts against the dragons, the Chroma Conclave. I just feel like the pacing is more deliberate here, and it's not that the prior seasons didn't have tension. Like, I loved the prior seasons. That's not what I'm saying. There's something that feels a little bit more personal about these stories, kind of more like that same tension that you get from the Mighty Nine, which I think is a stronger show narratively, but I think they're learning, and I think you can see that reflected in the writing of this season. I think it's very well done, and I like the conflicts that we've gotten. Very, very strong start to the season. I have a few negatives, not a ton. I do, even though Tyrion Darrington is a great, fun, new addition to the show, I do miss Scanlan and just kind of the dynamic that he has with some of the characters. And the first few episodes, like, I can reflect on them now and I enjoy them more, but when I was watching through them first and the group is kind of slowly getting back together after, they've had this year apart, the first few episodes kind of do give off, like, side quest energy. And that could be just because I've never loved the getting the group back together mechanic, because you're just waiting to see all these characters that you love, and like there's always kind of some awkwardness when the group comes back together and you're like, why is this awkwardness? Like, you guys have been through so much and been friends for years, and there is a little bit of that here. And so that's a personal preference. I think there's something about the pacing that felt very side questy to me, but then as I look back at the season as a whole, how it came together, I actually really love how it all did it. But just putting it out there, if you are one of those people that you don't like side quests, just the first few episodes they'll feel that way. They're not, I promise. I think the start of the season, so the first 3/4 of the season, I would say is going to be a 9.6 out of 10 so far. I think it's very good, and I think if they nail the finale coming next week, it's sadly already over. I think there's a strong chance that this is going to be the best season of Vox Machina, at least for me personally, and I'll be excited to talk about it when it's all done. Maybe get into some spoilers when we are reflecting on the whole season. But if you loved the first 3 seasons, you're going to love this one. If you don't know that it's out, it is out, by the way. Like, I talked to some of my friends and I was like, oh my God, have you guys seen the first 6 episodes? And they were kind of blown away by the fact that it was out. So I don't know if that's trailers or not doing their job or Amazon's not pushing it hard enough, but it is out and it is fantastic. Please support these shows. The Critical Role people know how to make great stories. With this, The Mighty Nine, I know they're going to be adapting some of their other campaigns. I want them to do well, so please watch it, boost their numbers, let them know that we love this and we want more. Again, I'm very excited for the finale. The episode, 9? The end of episode 9, we get kind of a cliffhanger, so I'm just waiting for this upcoming Tuesday, but I'm very excited to talk about it, and I'll be very excited for season 5, which they did announce as the last. But just let me know. These animated Dungeons and Dragons shows, I think, really, really slap, and I hope will boost the game's popularity, even though it's already received a pretty significant boost in popularity over the past decade or so. I just hope this keeps pushing it up and up. Of course, these are just my thoughts on the trailer and the first 9 episodes of season 4. Let me know your thoughts down below. Am I being too high on both of these things? So I'm praising both quite a bit. I do have some issues and worries, but overall, I'm glowingly positive on both of these. So let me know. Are you with me? Are you feeling the hype? Am I doing too much? I'm gonna have some more out for you very soon. I was gonna talk about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms in this episode, but I figured with the premiere of season 3 of the House of the Dragon, I'm gonna push it to next week. Talk about that. The premiere episode of House of the Dragon, and just kind of some of the overall rumors that we've got about Game of Thrones, and just make it a Game of Thrones themed episode. So looking forward to that, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one.